Here is a warning of strobe lighting in the underground sections of this film. Out of the light, into the dark. Amidst excavation on the hill, here we are in the Pentland Hills. Edinburgh's that way-ish. The border to Englandshire's that way-ish. There's the sign for the monument that we're at, the Souterrain on Castlelaw hill fort. Wonderful blue and white clouds. Plenty of uneven ground that I can fall and roll all over dramatically as we go from the light and one of the forts and their hut rings and the hills above, including the Castlelaw, and descend from the north named mountains, hills if you wish, into the depths of the darkness. Beautiful old iron railings. Sort of think to yourself, where's the Ministry of Works notice? There's a cast iron notice at the front. And go in search of the alternative light, aka sometimes the night or the darkness. The ceiling on the Souterrain, not only covered by a concrete lintel, but by modern walls, giving you extra height. The gate is sometimes locked, and the creepy gate behind has just done its nighttime ghostly feature. Doesn't seem like anything in the day, but don't come in the night if you're not ready for the fright. A souterrain that you actually don't have to climb in or use knee pads for, or a crash helmet to enter into. Would have been this height. I know that you all exactly know what that height is now. Now it is this height, and you're fully well aware of this height as compared to that height. Looks like a bit of modern black marking there, some striations in the rock as well, as I had a candle sat next to it. Modern burning marks, very unfortunately. Some striations, some markings there too. As we pan around them. Lots of people ignore most of the stones. Lots of the markings are modern. Lots of the stress lines are a whole life away from where we are now. There is Creepy Gate, and back on and in. Even the modern stone wall gets some scratchations. And the modern wall gets some algae, stroke growth, stroke whatever you wish to call it. Your names apply. As you walk down, one beautifully height extended passage with a large stone in the way. Not unlike other, not this one, not unlike other large stones that feature in the way. Is it the bedrock that they didn't pound down? Or is it a large separate stone, like other large separate stones? Could have been stood at one stage? Is any of this signs of a foot for the stone to stand on? And all too soon, in the daylight too soon, in the night time different story, all too soon, come to the modern proposed end, as found as rebuilt. Was that the way of old? Some people would definitely say yes. Others may say other things. At the bottom stone, unfortunately, as for other ending stones, modern markings, and that continues to the modern wall. Professing love, friendship, care and concern, as you do on a modern wall. On the way back up, looking at the modern lights that help with our slightly peacock, rainbow, iridescent, shimmering, refracted view. On the way back up, there's a stone that you can't believe that you missed on your way down. A few markings seem to be on it, all modern. And a beautiful lintel. And a dark other entrance. More modern markings. Another door jamb. Now that we've seen the one, we find two. Bit of bronze reinforcing. I take it that people have tried to write on there and maybe been unsuccessful. Now, if in current day times as you do walk down you see it, so be it, but if it appears on your way back up as a magical entrance to a fairy otherworld, superb, superb and more superb. So from the entrance to the exit, which was the entrance 2, we find a very, very short, exactly that distance, or if you go against the sunwise clockwise motion, exactly that distance. Now at this point a zoom might be useful to check that it is the same gates that are outside and just to see how blue the sky is if you don't live in a hole in the ground. This one not with a round door, but the modern lights appear again, and here we go towards the doorway. Stones chosen especially for the jambs. And in to the entrance we see. So just a minute or two to get through, depending on how much more agile than me you are. Oh. Gets you into a little internal chamber, beautifully lit today with the sunshine through the modern window. So I think people used to say, sun only shines upon the righteous. If I'd got more breath in my body I'd be able to say that better again. So I think people used to say the sun only shines upon the righteous. I'm not going to go and step in there and watch it go dark just to prove it. Here's the doorway, both entrance and exit to the inner chamber. Beautiful lintel in place, big bronze bar helping it. Now there's a large stone here, and the construction of the roof corbelled in at this point and a narrow pinch so as not to make more stress around the doorway and on the doorway. Very well built so as to carry the weight without revealing it's carrying the weight and without breaking under the strain. Functionality and beauty, maybe even some symbology if we can look deeply enough into the stones and beyond any modern scratchings or striations or graffitiizations. One beautiful lintel leads us to, unfortunately, a fallen stone. They do come out and a bit of corbelling visible at some of its highest point there, and we'll just spanned over as we've seen elsewhere. Some nice strong stones in the corbel there. You've got to go in with a wide stone into the wall and projecting out into the narrow way. The Souterrain, the underground passage. This stone is absolutely magnificent. Looks to be shaped, leg, arm, maybe a hand on the bottom of the arm. Monstrous big arm, maybe. Something of Wayland's and his smithy and the gods. And that is actually a natural feature breaking off. Could have been in some way manipulated and made into an art piece. These are the little peekaboo entrances, the ones that I don't want anybody saying to me, well, that's to pass food through to prisoners. That's just me and my view of souterrains. I don't see them as a place of captivity, even though I'm mentioning such and showing some of the gaps which could have been used for such. We won't know, but the doorway was possibly sealed and further covered. With it being at this angle to this main entrance, it is possible that it would be well shielded from light and sound, and could be a perfect place for contemplation, activation, initiation, initialization. Was it to keep next year's seeds in, to preserve fruits over winter? Brews, potions, magic unguents, healing salves, or a place for people to be? Just as it catches the light, here's the large stone, almost being lit by a Hollywood symbol for investigate this further. The chalk stones, etc., have either fallen or been placed. Every now and again, as you go past smaller stones, you think, oh, these have not just haphazardly appeared here, they may have haphazardly fallen out of the wall, fallen to the modern floor, which has still got some of its gravel surface. When reinstated, it was full gravel surface. The walls built with large and small stones, and they do fall out, but not that size. That size looks to be of an importance, and looks like some other stones of similar importance in other underground earth houses or souterrains. Back up from the pointed end of the large stone, or if you wish the largest stone that's left of the floor, the walls aren't leaning, but you can see hopefully that they're corbelled over. From the width at the base, the walls are built inwards. They wouldn't quite meet with this size stone. They would from side to side, with big and large stone, keep creeping in and in so that the top of the passageway would be narrower, and the stones would begin to bridge a gap to take smaller stones, and in some cases even timber. So we go up past what is now looking very obelisk-like with this lighting. It's got a very nice glow from the windows above. I think, having shown a little bit of modern graffiti, we can show some of the modern lighting again. In the daytime you do not need a torch, and I believe that this souterrain is closed at night time. Here's some more slippage and spillage in the side wall. Some of it may have been just on its way out, some may have been put back, and every now and again you'll find other items, hopefully not candles, making a big black mark. Out of some of the shadow work, back again to the lights. From this entrance, still very wet today and looking very concretey up close, but from this entranceway we can go back out the original entrance and exit, taking in the change in light. One more turn with the sun, and we turn for a last look at some of the intricate writing that is helping some of the stone to peel itself away. Look at some of the mould and the decay upon the modern era plaster, and beyond the mould is just in sight but in shadow the final termination, or the possible one. Maybe there was another one within and further on. There, as we turn with the sun again, is that wonderful doorway, giving us access to a different chamber. A nice good strong layer of stones before the corbel again as we near the entrance, and I return to the light, and we look back again at what would have been the height to go through and things that we would have seen, as we made sure we kept our backs down and our hips low and crawled with our head searching for the exit, which, if it was covered and if you were in here for any time, the revelation as you came back out, depending on your time within, would be ultimately striking, as that just was with the bump of my head. So depending for how long you were in and how dark it was within, as you exit, your eyes would be on an absolute feast of regeneration. You may go in the day and come out in the night. You may go in the day, come out in the night, go back in with only night vision, and then start to see the stars on the ground. Children in mines. Reports by the commissioners into the children were said that in their early days in the mine, given a stubborn candle, maybe if they had such a thing available, once that went out they had no candle or light. They stayed in a small damp hole, opening and closing air or fire doors, and they could, they said to each other, see the stars. Absolute trick of the optic. Really unfortunate beauty of childhood to end a Souterrain. Most likely created not for seeing stars, but maybe for someone's experience, not too similar to giving the optic nerve that sort of jolt, to giving the whole body that recreative jolt. Those are the glass panels, the windows, and here's the modern entrance. As far as Souterrains go for ease of access and for general good, easy, clean, non-bumping head like I've just done, access, very, very good. There's only the bend within that gives it some of its problems. And as we're here by the information sign, we'll go around and maybe end, if I've not already cut what I've just been burbling on about in the head bump and everything, and end on the information sign, which I hope I'll be able to show you something from a much earlier photograph or a restoration, if I can make one. Right, thank you for a journey with me to Castlelaw Fort, with its sheep, with its amazing colours, its beautiful skies, and with a wonderful underground earth house or Souterrain. And here to join us are the sheeps. They can't partake in the mystery as there is an animal gate in place currently on the Souterrain, but they can have a little bit of a tour around the castle fort because there is no gate on the external perimeter. Maybe it's my presence that's keeping them away from some good hill fort grazing. I don't think asking them will help me. And there's one of the signs for the range. It's an old, out-of-date sign, I hope. Otherwise I'm the wrong side of it. And who doesn't want to end with a sheep? If you do want to end with anything else, please send your stamped addressed sealed envelopes to any address that I leave on YouTube. Otherwise, it's the sheep. Bye for now. So here we are on a more shadow rich and hopefully sky rich setting to say goodbye to the Souterrain with some excellent dark shadows. You've always got the day and the night as light and dark, but when the day does provide you with the spark, the beauty of the day gives you the clear vision and the sun on your skin to revive you and the landscape you're in. It brings everything to life, including the Souterrains. I'm sure there's a midwinter power to them, but what about a midsummer power when you're descending from the light to the dark? Away from the bright spark, away from the cold light of the stars, away from the rich skies of the night, to go underground and see if the stellar shimmers come back to you. Not in a pressure cooker, you're in more of a simmering pot, taking your own time to see what you can find out of the light into the dark, away from even the sensory pleasure and differences. So a bit of sensory deprivation as you stay in one climate. I was trying to say managed climate but couldn't get my word. There's the end of this film. And this time going against the sun to look back towards Edinburgh and back to some panels. So this is where our ancestors maybe within the complex of timber houses they had an underground stone souterrain.